Alrighty, hello everyone. My name is Swizz here. It's another wonderful video of Level Up Mental Health. Good topic here tonight as we are going to be reviewing radical acceptance. So this is one of my favorite skills to use. I think it's an important skill to emphasize here as I'm checking to make sure that everything is looking peachy keen over here. It's a little blurry, but what can we do? So the goal here that we're going to be learning, the radical acceptance, is a great strategy to utilize when we're dealing with things that are out of our control, right? And as we kind of go through this topic here, you'll see it's not mainly, just kind of pretty much just kind of whimpering out in that sense, right? It's just being able to kind of embrace the factors that are surrounding you to ensure you can kind of move forward with what you need, right? So let's take a look at the worksheet here. We'll explore it and then see what we got. All right. So my wonderful cat hops in the back. All right, so here we are with radical acceptance. So the goal that we're trying to achieve here is being able to get through these painful events and emotions that are coming our way. So what is radical acceptance? Well, it means being all the way and complete and total. Being able to accept your mind, your heart, and your body, and stop fighting the reality to ensure that you are letting go of this bitterness. Now, there's a comment here that's like stop throwing tantrums. And it's may kind of come across off as like accusatory in that sense as well. But the perspective of this that's trying to kind of follow up is being able to feel like if you're looking at this and knowing that you're at a loss, there's nothing else that can be done, there's hopelessness. This is where radical acceptance comes into play. Being able to kind of accept that reality about the facts of the situation and know that the past and the present are the facts of it, even if we don't have a strong feeling for them. So, why do we need to accept it? Well, at the end of the day, rejecting it doesn't change the reality because it's reality, right? Like, it makes sense. A fact is a fact. Now, I know it's hard in this day and age where facts are very obscured by, the people in charge, the people in power, whoever in that sense. And reality really has lost a lot of that significance. But what's important to understand is to hold true to that, continue to have that reality because that's how growth, that's how the tasks and goals that we're looking to achieve are going to get done, right? We need to be vulnerable. We need to accept the realities that we're in order to go through the pain that we're experiencing here, right? I like this quote here: the acceptance may lead to sadness, but deep calmness usually follows. If you're able to just kind of accept those things that are going on, yes, it's going to be hard, but the calmness really just kind of follows after that. And what's important to understand, and I always emphasize this, is that it's not approval, compassion, love, passivity, or change against change, right? These are all things that essentially what we're trying to do is just accept with kind of what is present in front of us, right? The reality of the situation, and the more that we're able to do that, the better we are to transport ourselves outside through the pain, right? Belief that acceptance of a painful event makes light of it. Being able to kind of challenge that again, you're not making light of the event; it's just being able to be more objective with it, right? It's an event that had occurred, knowing that even though the emotions are going to get away with this, we're trying to move forward with it, right? So how do we practice this? So certain things, being able to have that self-reflection and ask ourselves if we are questioning reality. Remind ourselves that the unpleasant reality is just as it is and cannot be changed. And remind yourself there are causes for the reality. Acknowledge that some sort of history led to this moment. So I always like this quote here too, because it's always hard to kind of think about this way, especially with trauma, right? When you think about a very difficult experience that you may have undergone, where it's hard to see a different side of it, right? Especially for something where there's abuse or violence that may have been a witness to, it's hard to look at it in a different sense and think about maybe that was a strengthening part of your life in that sense, right? And it's not to, you know, dismiss it or really just kind of put it under the rug. It's just being able to kind of again, you have that picture there, but you're just turning in a different angle to observe it in a different way, right? We could view it as the sense where it really destroyed kind of our innocence or whatever it may be, or it could have been an experience that helped us catapult to become stronger, to be more, diligent with certain things, whatever it is, right? Being able to look at that from that side is key. Practice acceptance with a whole self, mind, and body and spirit. Be creative in finding ways to involve your whole self. Self talk is key to be able to kind of use as relaxation and mindfulness are all important things to do. Practice opposite action. This is actually going to be the next video here. We're going to review that. But it's essentially kind of flipping things to the other side. Like, oh, if I don't feel like, I feel like just kind of staying in and not really kind of getting out of the bed, the opposite action is, well, let's get out of the bed, right? And it sounds easier said than done, but you're just trying to put your mind towards what would be the opposite of what you're currently feeling in that moment. Cope ahead with events that seem unacceptable. Imagine, again, believing what you don't want to accept and rehearsing your mind what you do if you accept what seems unacceptable. We want to attend our body sensations as you think about what you need to accept. Allow the disappointment. Acknowledge how life can be worth living even when there's pain. That's a tough one too. Again, based on if you've had these difficulties in your life, being able to kind of acknowledge that things are worth it, right? But it just is rehearsal. The more that we practice it, the better we'll be at being able to challenge it. Pros and cons list for how to resist acceptance is good too. Last point here related to radical acceptance is turning the mind. So this is kind of more of a framework to develop for your mind. Essentially, it's just imagine that if you're down a path and you have two kind of you have a crossroads there. You can go one way or the other. We can go towards the rejection or the difficulties, the pain, or we can go towards kind of the acceptance, right? And that's kind of the key there, right? Kind of being able to try to to turn the mind towards that acceptance where we're able to, again, observe, make that commitment, do it again, develop a plan to be able to ensure we can, empower through and, reach that kind of, in a way, nirvana of really just being able to kind of embrace who we are there and be able to kind of embrace that acceptance of that event or acceptance of that situation and just have that overall just belief that that this is what it is, and maybe there's something that we can look forward to in the future for that, and maybe that this experience helps me grow or become a better person, right? That's what turning the mind towards acceptance is going to look at. Now again, obviously, it's going to take time, it's going to take a lot of work to do that, but the more that we're able to practice it, as always, and you think about the times of how often the negative thoughts and those particular perseverations, the consistency of those things where I'm terrible, I'm a loser, whatever it may be, right? How often that's been hammered to you. This is what we're trying to do. We're trying to hammer the other side of it, the other perspective to it, because we are so just kind of accustomed to that one side that we don't realize there's other perspectives. And that's the goal there. We're trying to challenge the way that we're viewing these things that have been so well conditioned into our mind to be able to look at it a different way. And the more that we practice it, the easier it will come, I promise you. So, it's radical acceptance. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you're watching the stream, we're going to take a quick little break. We'll come back to the next skill. But if you're watching on YouTube, make sure to like, subscribe, hit that notification button to see the other kind of future tips of the trade. I know I've been on a hiatus for Psychonauts. I'm hoping to get back soon this week. Just exhausting, but we'll try to get there. All right, see you all in a bit.